Chetan, it's good to be back on the airwaves, so to speak, as we look ahead to the one-day international series between England and India. Just to start off with, India still without a number of big stars. No Tendulkar, Yuvraj, Sehwag's absent, Zaher Khan's not playing, Harbhajan Singh's been dropped, but you've got Gautam Gambhir returning, and we've got Srinath Aravind and Rahul Sharma called up. What could you tell us about them and the balance of the squad that India have named for the first two games?
Yes, John. First of all, let's talk about the big stars missing. Sachin Tendulkar, Yuvraj Singh, Virendra Sehwag, Zaher Khan, Harbhajan Singh. All of them still not available for selection at the moment. The first four are obviously injured, and Harbhajan Singh has been dropped for this ODI series. And it was seen by many as coming because he's just been off colour for a season now, and he was just on fumes really. And I think going back to domestic cricket, it might just do a little bit of good for him because you just go back and you bowl a lot more without having any pressure. Nobody's watching you with intensity, and you just get your mojo back a bit. I think that'll just might help him because we have a very important tour of Australia coming up later in the year. But yes, Gautam Gambhir returns after his concussion has gotten over. And he got some runs for Kolkata Knight Riders in the Champions League T20. He's gotten some runs in domestic cricket. The Challenger ODI series has been going on, so he's got some runs there as well. And I think he'll be a major boost for the Indian team because he'll be back to opening the innings, and he's been a vital batsman for the Indian team. Remember his World Cup final knock, which steered India to the victory at Wankhede Stadium there. And I think he will be the senior batsman of the side, and it's imperative that he scores some runs in this series and guides India because there's not much experience in the middle, as we said. Sachin, Sehwag, Yuvraj, all missing out. So a lot of youngsters in there, and you have Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Suresh Raina bringing up a little bit of experience, and Gautam Gambhir at the top. So important for Gambhir to get the runs. As for Arvind and Rahul Sharma is a bit of a leg spinner. He's just come to the fore in the last season or so. Did well in the Ranji Trophy as well as in the IPL. Was bought by the Pune Warriors, and he was earlier with the Deccan Chargers, plays for Punjab. So he's just come to the fore in the last season or so. The jury is still out whether he is a very good spinner. We just just because of his performances, he's just come fourth a bit, and maybe the selectors want to give him a little bit of experience how it is with the first team. I'll be very surprised if he gets a game in this particular series. You have Ravindra Jadeja and R. Ashwin, who will be leading the spin attack. So I'm not sure if he'll be getting many chances. And of course, the team has been selected for only the first two ODIs. As for Srikanth Arvind, he is a left-arm medium pacer from Bangalore, and as I say again, it's the same thing with him. He's played for Royal Challengers Bangalore, played for Karnataka, and again has come to the fore on the back of his performances over the last season. Did well in the IPL as well. He might get in a chance. He can bat a bit as well. So in the lower order, number 8, number 9. So he might just get in a chance because of his left arm bowling. Might just bring a little bit of difference to the bowling attack.
And what might we expect from the pitch and the outfield for this opening game in Hyderabad?
Well, the pitch is obviously almost the same as the one we saw in the Champions League T20. Hyderabad affords a little bit more bounce than probably what is the norm in India. So a little bit of bounce, which will help the ball to come onto the bat nicely. It'll be a good batting track, I suppose, and the outfield will be fast. So that's Hyderabad for you. And I would like to bring in a couple of points here. We just talked about Rahul Sharma and and Arvind, who will be coming in. New names for Indian. We also have some new names for England. We have Johnny Bairstow, Scott Borthwick, and Alex Hales, who are in the squad. Exciting new names. They've done well in the season this year, and England looking to make a good talent pool.
They certainly are, and if you mentioned Johnny Bairstow and Scott Borthwick there, were both very impressive in that second game against the Hyderabad. Bairstow with 156 balls, Scott Borthwick 5 for 30 odd, and Stuart Meeker, who's another name. He's not perhaps expected to feature too much in the ODI series. The consensus over here that he's been brought along for experience, but very, very quick Surrey bowler, so he's one to look out for as well. Certainly, I think England have got a real eye on the future here, building that pool of players. You mentioned Alex Hales there, Joss Butler is out there training with the squad. So somebody obviously is going to be given an opportunity because Owen Morgan isn't there and James Anderson has been rested. So England really taking a good policy, I think, to say, right, I think this is going to be the way teams are going to go from here on, and either players just aren't going to be fit enough to play round the clock, round the year cricket. So the best teams are going to be the ones with the biggest reserves and the teams that blood youngsters at the right time, so that people can come in with experience behind them to replace those players who are either rested or unavailable. So yes, definitely England, this is a conscious effort from England to have a squad of effectively 20 players they can pick on at any time in the future.
Well, I think that's a very important point that you have put forth. I think it is going to be a marker of our times now, because cricket has stayed around the year. I mean, we've talked about how a new season is beginning now. It's a 2011-2012 season that's beginning for cricket. But it almost seems that there was no gap in between. You had India coming back from England, and then they've been playing in Champions League T20. Most of the players have been playing Champions League T20. You have two teams coming from England as well. So it's just been non-stop, and it's very important now, especially now that we have a lot of injuries for India, and England are also experimenting. We have Australia who are also bringing in fresh names in South Africa, and also, yes, it is going to be a marker of our times that every team will look to have a particular talent pool, perhaps two different squads, maybe even three. You never know. Another point, John, Alistair Cook, in one of his interviews leading up to the series, has said that he would like to be Test captain. Don't you think it's a bit of a high remark, given that he's just won the 2 ODI series at home? And now is a real test, coming to India and playing here an ODI series is not really easy. So does he really have the credentials at the moment to probably push Andrew Strauss off the job?
Well, at the moment, no, he doesn't, because he hasn't captained a team enough. He hasn't got an awful lot of captaincy experience at first-class level. Now, I don't know what sort of context the question was asked, but if he's on a hiding to nothing, really. If he says yes, he's over-ambitious. If he says no, then he's not ambitious enough. I think every cricketer really would love to be Test captain of your country, so whether I don't think he's going to push Strauss out. Strauss, to me, has got the job until he says he's had enough, or he really does have a horror run of form, simply because of what he's achieved as captain. Cook, actually, yes, he has played. He's also captained England in Bangladesh last year. He's got a very good record as an ODI captain, but it's early days. He does play well, it seems, as captain, but you're absolutely spot on. The real test is now. This is going to be a real big test of England, and a big test of Alistair Cook as captain, because, as I say, no Owen Morgan, no Stuart Broad, and no James Anderson to rely on. So he's going to really have to place a lot of confidence and instill a lot of confidence in these young players. So yeah, too early really to be talking about Alistair Cook as Test captain, and you're right, it's going to be a big test in these coming weeks and months.
Well, you mentioned that James Anderson and Stuart Broad missing from the squad, so there's also a big question mark over Kevin Pietersen, whether he's good enough to make the squad now, because people are considering playing Johnny Bairstow ahead of him. So do you think he should be included on experience alone, because he's been lacking in runs, especially in the ODI format? And if not, will the middle order be able to counter the spin bowling from India? And you have turning tracks. So a lack of experience in the middle order for England, I suppose.
Yes, there is, and I think for that one main reason is why Kevin Pietersen is very likely to play. If Morgan was there, then you could possibly be more likely to see a Jonathan Bairstow come into the team and play. But I think Pietersen will play. If you look at any team, you think, well, what would India, for example, like to see a team sheet without Pietersen on it, or with Pietersen on it? I think they'd almost certainly like to see one without. So for that reason, I'd have Pietersen in the team. He's been rested for the final part of the English summer, so it would make little sense to sort of pick him in the squad and then not play him. He does remain one of England's best, if not better, batsmen. For me, Pietersen and Morgan sort of class apart in the English side. But middle order countering spin was your other point there. I keep going back to this point. No Owen Morgan, he's one of our better players of spin. Jonathan Trott's very capable. Kevin Pietersen, as we've mentioned, and this is going to be a very steep learning curve for the likes of Bairstow, Hales, and Samit Patel as well, to a degree. Got Ravi Bopara in there. He's in good form at the moment, and I seem to remember he did okay on England's last tour of India. So England, I think, will be okay, and I think Pietersen will play. Now, my final point to you, Chetan, was just to ask how much anticipation, excitement has there been in India ahead of this series? You sort of said we've had the Champions League 2020, we've had the Challengers Series finishing today in a tie. How much excitement is there for a return to international cricket?
Well, let me just say, that it's been just too much cricket, and people are a lot tired right now because it's just, as I said, too much cricket. You cannot really rephrase that in any other different manner. Just too much cricket, and as I said earlier also, it's the beginning of a new season, new international season. England have just thrashed India, so you want to play this up as a revenge series, yes. But again, there's just so much cricket, and you just watch it day in and day out. I still expect full houses throughout the country. You're going to places like Delhi, you're going to Mumbai, you're going to Mohali. These always have good crowds. Hyderabad, Kolkata did not have a World Cup match where India played. So this is the first time that India will be playing at Kolkata. And also, mind you, Kolkata has been under renovations for a long time, so India have missed out at playing at Kolkata. So there's an ODI there, there's T20 there, and later on when the West Indies come here, there's also a test match over there. Similarly with Mumbai, that's where they won the World Cup. So I still expect a lot of crowd to come in, watch the matches, and anticipation perhaps building through the series. It might just be a little on the low side for the first game, and if India do well, it might just climb up from there onwards.
Okay, and finally, let's both predict the result of the game. I'm going to go with an Indian win, India to get out of the blocks a little bit quicker than England. I personally think that, yes, England have done very well in those warm-up games, but they might have been served better by having a bit more of a competitive game. So for me, India to win the opening game. What about you?
Well, I go for an Indian win as well. I think it's important that they start off with a win and get some mental blocks outside, because if they lose tomorrow's game, I think it will all just be another exercise in futility, because after what's happened during the summer. So it's important that they begin nicely, they begin with a positive win under the belt, and then take on the new season from there onwards. So Indian win for me as well.